30 seconds and counting.
There were plenty of years where there were guys who would dread being drafted by the Buffalo Bills. Not anymore.
Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds.
Brandon Beane realizes they're in a window of 2 to 3 years max to get this done while the iron's still hot. And getting Von Miller into that situation was big for the Bills.
10, 9.
Oh, baby.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Great interview, guys.
What is up, Buffalo Fanatics? Z-Bot here with you, live on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel on NFL Honors Night. And that, of course, can only mean one thing. It is the smoke break powered by BetUS. The NFL Honors are underway. The red carpet has been rolled out. Josh Allen and his beautiful fiancée, Haley Steinfeld, are in attendance. Will we see some hardware coming back to the 716 from New Orleans? We're about to find out some crazy developments throughout the day. Who would have thought? So good to have you in here on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel for the NFL Honors Watch Party. Sit back, relax, and enjoy as we get ready to watch 2 hours of hardware be given out to the NFL's best throughout 2024. Earlier in the evening, Ben Johnson was named the AP Assistant Coach of the Year. Of course, now the head coach of the Chicago Bears. That was one of the awards that was pre-released. Tonight we'll find out, of course, a list of them, right? Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. None more important, though, than MVP. And that is why we're all tuned in with wide eyes tonight to see if Josh Allen can bring home the MVP and finally have something to embody, to represent the incredible career he has had through 7 seasons with the Buffalo Bills. Before we dive into it tonight, head on over to BetUS and get in on the Super Bowl odds while you still can. The Chiefs are a 1-point favorite on BetUS. The over-under is 48.5. Get in on them using the promo code YouTube150. That'll get you a 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit and 125% bonus on your next 2 after that. Quick question for you. Can you hear the broadcast in the background by any chance? All right, it says the mic is very low. Let's see. I'm telling you guys, I cannot. So some people are, you guys know how sensitive I am about the mic. We got some people saying it's bad, some it's good. Are we good? You can't hear the broadcast. Thank you. Bada Bing Crosby and the gang saying no. How's the mic? All right, so some are saying volume's coming in and out a little bit. I'll turn it down. I don't need it that loud, I guess. Should be better now. Here comes Snoop Dogg. Sound is fine. All right. All right, everybody's saying, all right, we're good. We're good. All right. Okay, so here comes Snoop Dogg. Look at him. He's got the NFL jumpsuit on, all white, probably custom with the gold NFL logo. I probably shared this on here before, but I have a theory. If there's one conspiracy theory that I've come up with myself that I think part of me genuinely believes, I think that there are numerous Snoop Dogs. I think he has been cloned like 7, 8, 10 different times. The guy is everywhere all the time. You turn on the TV, you cannot go a full half hour. If you're watching a half-hour television show, you're not going to go half an hour without seeing Snoop Dogg. He's everywhere. Every commercial, every main event. Hell, for the Olympics, he was like the U.S. ambassador out of nowhere. The guy is everywhere. And now tonight he's hosting the NFL Honors. What's he got to say? Let's see what he's got to say. He's doing his opening monologue here. And he's talking about the Super Bowl. I don't care about the Super Bowl. Let's talk about what we could potentially witness tonight, folks. What we could witness tonight is historic. Josh Allen, should he win the MVP, would be the first quarterback to win the MVP not named to the first team All-Pro team since John Elway in Montana back in 1987. That's how long it has been. Inevitably, throughout time, outside of, a couple of running backs winning it here and there, if you are named to the first team All-Pro team as a quarterback, you are inevitably the AP MVP. If Allen were to win it tonight, it would be the first time in nearly 40 years that the second team All-Pro would win the MVP over the first team All-Pro. And for the longest time, ever since the All-Pro selections were made about a month or so ago, we had just accepted the fact that, it's over. Allen's not going to win it. MVP is going to go to Lamar. It's going to be his third MVP, and that's that. Lamar won the first team AP votes for All-Pro. He won it 30-18. So it wasn't even like it was particularly close. It was a fair assumption to say that Lamar was going to win the MVP. I don't know what has changed, and there's been something in the water over the last 24 hours that certainly has changed. And seemingly out of nowhere, it has become Allen's to lose as the day has gone on here. I don't know if you guys have heard of Poly Market before, but Poly Market is like I missed it. Snoop Dogg was just going on a rant about Allen. I missed it. Let me know in the comments what I missed. It's what I get for talking over the king here, doing his opening monologue. I don't know if you know what Poly Market is, but it's essentially like a stock market for different betting markets outside of sports. Like you can literally bet on anything. Poly Market was huge during the presidential election. You could bet on who was going to win president, who's going to become the president this last election here. And it was very accurate. And the more you kept reading the Poly Market fluctuation, the more you had to read on whether or not Biden was going to win or Trump was going to win. You can literally bet on just about anything on here. So the reason I bring this up is right now over on Twitter, Poly Market tweets out that it's been called. According to the Poly Market, according to the amount of money invested on the website, Josh Allen is the MVP. And it's no insignificant amount of money, by the way. It's over $180 million bet on the MVP on Poly Market. Here's what's insanely interesting. So here in front of you is the graph that shows you the fluctuation between Josh Allen and Lamar in terms of the betting market representing who was going to win. And as you can see here, pretty even throughout the year, right? And then Allen takes over towards the end of the year here. And really towards the November, December mark really started to take over. All of a sudden, though, today, here's the spark. Allen today has gone up to 91%. I believe at one point earlier today, it had risen to 94% of the evaluation or whatever, calling Josh Allen to be the MVP. You couldn't bet on it on any other platform because that had been closed after the AP team had been announced. Open on Poly Market. I don't know what's up. I don't know. So we are in for a treat. We will see what happens. I'm hoping to God we get to sit here live tonight together and watch Josh Allen bring in an MVP. I think I saw Hill Slayer say it earlier. He goes, "This is our Super Bowl." You're damn right. You're damn right. I had a buddy ask me earlier. He goes, what does it matter? What's the obsession with it? And we've been over this a million times. Allen has been far too good throughout his career here up until this point to not have anything to show for it. And I've said time and time again that the league is a team sport and winning the Super Bowl is the pinnacle of team. It embodies team. One player can help you get there. It can't single-handedly win it for you. So we don't know if the Bills will ever win one. They never have. And I don't know. They've been close. But God, we're Bills fans. We have pessimism and the fear of never seeing it happen living rent-free in our minds time and time again. So should they come up short like they did this year, like they've done several years, and maybe they continue to do it? I want to be able to look back and at the very least have 17, have something to represent, to embody, to emblemize the career that he has had up until this point. And I think tonight could be an opportunity to do that. Here is OBJ and Shabuzi taking the stage. Shabuzi is on an all-time run right now, this guy. This guy came out of nowhere. You want to talk about Snoop Dogg being on everything. What has Shabuzi not been on the last year? The guy's on everything. He performed at the Grammys the other day. He did the halftime show on Thanksgiving. Here he is at the NFL Honors. When do these guys sleep? This guy came out with one song. Granted, it's a banger. That bar song's a hit, and I hate country music. That song's killer. That's all it takes. One song, and this guy is everywhere. Everywhere. All right, so what are they? They kicking it off here with the Rookie of the Year? Looks like they are. So Brock Bowers obviously not going to win it, but man, if the Raiders got one thing to look forward to, it is Brock Bowers. Probably the best rookie tight end year we've ever seen. He's already probably a top 5 tight end. The dude was unbelievable. And you can only imagine the pub he would have been getting if he wasn't on the Raiders. Think about how good he was with what he had around him, who he had throwing him the ball. Imagine if Brock Bowers was on a top 10, 15 team, not a bottom 15 team. He barely got any pub this year. The dude was unbelievable. So he's in the running here. But of course, this is going to go to Jaden Daniels, leading the Commanders to the NFC Championship, on the doorstep of being the first rookie to go to a Super Bowl. And I think it's almost unarguable that it was the best rookie year that a quarterback has ever had. And I guarantee you he probably comes up here and takes it. OBJ, is he wearing... There it is, Jaden Daniels. Is OBJ wearing the coat that judges wear in the courtroom? Is that what he was just wearing? It looked like one of those coats that a judge wears, but it was made out of like umbrella material. Here he comes, Jaden Daniels. Some of these suits these guys wear, I'm so jealous they're able to pull it off. If I wore that suit, I would look like the biggest idiot on the planet. But these guys crush it, man. What is that? What is he wearing? What is that? It's like a mix between a windbreaker and one of those things that the judges wear in the courtroom. Allen's looking good. They just did the close-up on Allen. Got the hair faded back. Good for Jaden Daniels, man. Look at Jaden Daniels' mom. She's so proud. Wasn't there something that came out that Jaden Daniels' mom doesn't allow him to date or tells him not to date or whatever? Didn't that come out or something? How do you not like Jaden Daniels? Good for that kid, man. Good for that dude. Future is bright. Thank God he's not in the AFC. The last thing we needed is another dominant quarterback in the AFC. God, I don't think I've ever seen Kyron Williams outside of a uniform. All right, what do we got here? A T.O.? T.O. John Hamm. Oh, they're just running through this. We're like 10 minutes into this. They're already on the second award. I'm watching the Grammys the other night. It's like an hour between awards. They're just running through it. So Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year offensively. Now they're moving on to defense. Wait, no, this is Defensive Player of the Year? What are they announcing right now? I missed what he said. No, Defensive Player of the Year. So the favorite to win this right now is either Surtain or TJ Watt, I think. If TJ Watt wins that, I don't really know what to say about it. It didn't feel like this was TJ Watt's best year. I mean, I guess it's hard to quantify. He's been so dominant pretty much every year he's been in the league, but there didn't feel, I don't know about you guys, there didn't really feel like a standout Defensive Player of the Year this year. This feels like this could be a really a toss-up. Pat Surtain takes it. Pat Surtain takes it. Makes that Bills wild card win look a little bit better than it already did, doesn't it? 31 points on Pat Surtain's head. Why wouldn't they do rookie of the year and then offensive rookie of the year and then defensive rookie of the year? Why wouldn't they go back to back on that? Let me know in the comments, by the way, is the stream looking okay? I'm getting the damn internet signal again. Telling me it's crap. All right, is it saying the stream's blurry? Unbelievable. Koala's saying it's fine. Let me know in the chat if you can. Saying it's a little pixelated. All right, I'll leave it. The only way to solve it usually is unplugging the thing and plugging it all the way back in. I don't want to do that right now. For those asking, did they say MVP yet? Believe me, strap in. We're going to be here till about 11 o'clock. They are not going to announce the MVP until 30 seconds before this broadcast ends. And I already looked. It's scheduled from 9 to 11. So be prepared to stay up to at least 11. So I saw a stat earlier, by the way. You ever just see stats on Allen that'll just make you like kind of do a double take, and you're like, yeah, this is the reason why this guy deserves an MVP. You know, the amount of times I've had people tell me, I just don't see it. I don't think he really deserves it. I don't know. And then you'll see stats like this one that I saw earlier that make you realize why the guy needs at least something to be able to emblemize the career thus far that he's had. So I saw this tweet earlier, and this happens every now and then where you'll just see some random stat be pulled up, and this one's off the charts. Tweeted out by Ken at Kenscapes1. Most total touchdowns through 8 seasons in NFL history. Mahomes had the record initially at 259. He had broken Peyton Manning's, who had previously held it at 253. Allen currently has 262 touchdowns, and he's only played 7 seasons. He already has the most touchdowns through 8 seasons in NFL history, and he's only played 7 seasons. And with the amount of consecutive 40 touchdown seasons that he's had, if we can just allow history to be our guide here, if Allen has another 40 touchdown season in 2025, he will have this record by a nearly 50 touchdown threshold. 50 touchdown threshold he would hold over Patrick Mahomes through 8 years in his career. I'm going to unplug the router and plug it back in. This is really pissing me off. So you guys can't see it. In the top left corner of my stream, there's a little Wi-Fi box, and it tells me when it's not doing good. And when it goes down to 1, I can't emphasize to you guys enough how much it literally makes my skin crawl. So I'm going to unplug it, plug it back in. The stream will probably just go black for a second, and then I'll be right back.
All right. Are we back? Let me know if it's any better. Unbelievable. Dude, this internet company, man. Thank God I'm moving in a couple months. Thank God. This is one of the reasons I can't wait. This internet. Pay for the best on you guys have heard me talk about it enough. All right. I don't see the little internet icon anymore. So let's hope it stays that way. I like these weird little things, like these little things that really piss me off. If you ask Caroline what the one thing is that pisses me off more than like anything on the planet, it's getting a stain on my on my clothes. Like if I get a stain on my clothes, I freak out. Even if it's the littlest thing, this reminds me of that. Like when I see the little internet icon come up, it reminds me of like getting a stain on my shirt. I can't not look at it. I can't not. It's just unbelievable. Here we got Snoop Dogg dressed up in all Steelers gear here. Dude, look at this guy. Snoop Dogg coming out in full armor here. Kind of looks like he could play wideout a little bit. He's got the legs of a wideout. Anyway, like I was saying before, I unplugged the internet and plugged it back in. Allen, through 7 seasons, 262 touchdowns, already holds the record for most touchdowns through 8 years in NFL history. Or through the first 8 seasons in NFL history. Mahomes, like I said previously, he had held the record at 259. Allen already at 262. So if he scores 40 again, he'll be at over 300. That's one of those records you're looking at, and you're wondering, when's the next time someone's beaten that? And these are the things you see that make you realize this is why tonight, yeah, Allen deserves 1. Lamar, sorry you don't get your 3rd if it ends up coming to into reality here. You know, sorry. The guy has earned it. I'm so sick. I'm so ready to be done with this, and I cannot tell you how elated I'm going to be if he wins it. The amount of shit that was talked about this damn award, the ridiculous nonsense being spewed all on TV, social media, you name it, everywhere. Oh my God. Jelly Roll getting ready to play center for the Titans. Look at this guy. Now, what would have been great is if they had Jelly Roll come out in a full sprint and just deck Snoop Dogg. Man, Jelly Roll looks like he could start for the Chiefs on Sunday right now. Look at this guy. Yeah, Snoop Dogg said he's got the old line in him, no doubt. Jerome Bettis. God, dude, award shows, man. I'll tell you, it's a little much sometimes. A little much. Stuff kills me, man. That was a solid joke on Aaron Rodgers there. Anyway, so like I saw some people in the comments are like, has it been announced yet? Do we know yet? Like I said, and by the way, I'm going to have to turn the chat off eventually. Not turn it off. I'm just going to have to not look at it eventually because I know it's going to leak early on Twitter, and there's nothing that pisses me off more than like seeing leaks before you watch it live. So it'll definitely break early. But in terms of the broadcast here and when I'm going to start talking about it, this will not come out. This will not happen until 11 p.m. The whole reason anybody's watching is because of the MVP, and they know it. It's like the Grammys the other night. They don't do album of the year until the end because no one really cares who won, best sound design or whatever the hell. They care about who won album of the year. All right, what are we doing right now? We doing offensive player of the year? Yep. Saquon on lock. How you guys feeling about the bowl, by the way, coming up? Any change of heart on how you're feeling about it in terms of excitement level? Are you getting a little excited now that tomorrow's Friday and it's here? Are you not? I mean, I got to tell you, nothing's changed for me. I've felt the same really the last 2 weeks. Obviously, I'm going to watch it. I mean, it's the last football game of the year, and I'm excited in that aspect to watch one more game. But in terms of like excitement level compared to literally any other Super Bowl in recent memory to me, this has got to be the least hype I've been. And I mentioned it on the show the other night. As easy as it would be to chalk it up to sour grapes over the Bills losing, it's really not that. Like, if the Bills had lost to the Ravens in the AFC Championship and it was Ravens-Eagles, that's an intriguing matchup to me. Derrick Henry versus Saquon Barkley, right? Lamar versus Hurts. I mean, I'd be kind of excited for that game. It is 100% Chiefs fatigue. I'm not, have no shame in admitting it. It's the honest truth. I think the majority of people are experiencing it. That is 1000% the best way to encapsulate what I think the majority of people are feeling right now. And then when you also factor in the Eagles element of things, when they were clearly the best team in football this year on paper, I just think that there's not a whole lot of anticipation over watching the reigning champs of the last 2 years play the best team in the league. The NFL has always been about the what ifs and the comeback stories and the kind of the underdog, and that's just not on display at all this year, at all. There's Saquon, by the way, offensive player of the year. That was the easiest lock of all time. He's going to be the difference on Sunday. Now, what's interesting about this matchup compared to last year's is that was ultimately going to be the difference last year. Could the Niners get Christian McCaffrey to dominate in that game the way that he had dominated all year? I mean, Christian McCaffrey had a magnet to the end zone in 2023. I mean, he was just unbelievable. And it had felt going into last year's Super Bowl that if the Niners were going to win, you obviously knew Purdy's good. He's not great. There's limitations there. It was going to have to go through Christian McCaffrey. So everybody knew, if you were to ask just the cliche question, what do the Chiefs have to do to win? Well, the answer would be they got to stop Christian McCaffrey. And that's just an easy answer. And it's ultimately one that you don't think is going to happen. So then you go on to say, well, you got to limit him. You got to mitigate him, whatever. No. Here's the crazy thing, and this is why I bring this up in terms of this game. Christian McCaffrey was dominant last year. He wasn't to the level that Saquon was this year, but he was dominant in 2023. Everyone knew going into that game that he was going to be the difference maker for San Francisco, and if Kansas City wanted to win, they had to stop him. But who had really stopped him all year? Going into this game, Saquon Barkley, over 2,000 yards, just won Offensive Player of the Year. He is the X factor. And even though they have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts is a real solid quarterback, they got Dallas Goedert, a real good defense. Saquon Barkley is the difference maker. And once again, it's the age-old question. What do the Chiefs got to do to win this game? Well, they got to stop Saquon Barkley. And you would think, well, I don't think you're going to be able to do that. And I would have thought this. I did think the same going into the Niners game last year. They shut down Christian McCaffrey. Shut him down. Christian McCaffrey had 22 carries in last year's Super Bowl for 80 yards. 3.6 yards a carry for the last year's Offensive Player of the Year and for last year's unarguable best running back in the league. Shut him down. And what happened? They put the game in Brock Purdy's hands, and Steve Spagnuolo dialed up masterclass after masterclass in the blitz department, and it wound up winning him the game. And ironically enough, I think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy, but they're both limited in the sense that when they are blitzed, not great. In fact, Jalen Hurts, it's not just not great, it is abysmal. Warren Sharp the other day put out a stat, all these different categories pertaining to Jalen Hurts when he's blitzed. He is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of, if not the worst quarterbacks in the league currently when he faces pressure. So last year, the game plan for KC against San Francisco was obvious. Try and take away Christian McCaffrey. If you do so, send the blitz at Brock Purdy. It's exactly what they did. It's what won them the football game. That, to me, is exactly what they're going to try to do again this year. And just when you think they're not going to be able to stop Barkley, think back to last year. Did you think they were going to be able to really stop McCaffrey? And if they are able to limit or shut down Barkley, you put the ball in Hurts' hands. And if they can get the blitz on him, which they've shown they can. I mean, we saw the blitz package they dialed up on Allen 2 weeks ago on that fourth down. It showed him a look that no one had seen all year. It worked to perfection. If they can get pressure on Hurts and take away Barkley, I don't know how they don't win. He's the difference. If Saquon's running the ball like he has all year, then I do think this is the time KC goes down. But I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, if you needed a perfect example of what KC's going to want to try and do and what they're probably going to have to do in order to win, go rewatch last year's Super Bowl. I mean, the Niners were moving the ball on them. They could not get in the end zone. In fact, they had the ball first in overtime, held them to a field goal, and you knew right then and there the game was over. And what do you know? Chiefs all year long, what did they average? 22, 23 points? Well, what happened last year in the Super Bowl? They scored 25 points. The last time they played these Eagles in the Super Bowl, what did they score? 42? They scored 25 last year and won it. And I think we're going to have a very similar game to the Niners game last year. This will not be a repeat of 2 years ago, Eagles, Chiefs. I think this is going to be a repeat of Niners, Chiefs. The only difference will be, can Saquon Barkley be better than Christian McCaffrey was? And you guys are saying it in the chat, and I completely agree with you. I mean, Steve Spagnuolo, the guy, if he wins a Super Bowl on Monday, if the Chiefs win on Monday, Damar Hamlin, I forgot, I didn't forget, but they're announcing a comeback player of the year. People were kind of questioning why he was nominated again. I understand completely why he was nominated again, by the way. Last year, he was nominated because he literally came back from the most horrific injury we have ever seen in the history of the sport. This year, he's nominated because he came back and was a starter and an impact on this defense. Joe Burrow. I forget. Didn't they reclassify this award? Do you have to come back from an injury? This feels like Sam Darnold's award to me. I got to look this up, or maybe one of you guys, if you're quicker than me. I think they changed the designation of the award. I mean, Burrow had an insane season. Burrow's up here taking the MVP trophy if they had the Bills record. There's no doubt in my mind. Okay, so according to the top article that I can find here, beginning with the 2024 season, so obviously this past year, the criteria for the award was changed to emphasize players coming back from illness, physical injury, or other circumstances. Oh, yeah, we went over this. Yeah, because Damar Hamlin literally had to single-handedly change the award because of how embarrassing it was giving it to Joe Flacco last year instead of Damar Hamlin. I still can't get over that. That was such an embarrassment. That was ridiculous. That was so stupid. I still, whenever I think about that, I still get a little sour over that. It was just such a bad look. It's an awful look. How do you give that award to Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco off the couch? Yeah, he had a good year, led the Browns to the playoffs. I mean, no doubt about it. All the kudos in the world to him. But comeback player of the year, Damar Hamlin dying on the field, the most insane sports story we've seen in recent memory, coming back from that and then being able to play, much less survives, much less plays. And you bring him all the way out there. Everyone on the planet thinks he's going to win the award and you don't give it to him. That was a joke. But I understand why they nominated him this year. But I guess he doesn't meet the criteria that he literally created for the award himself last season. They should have two. I think me and Rico went over this after it happened. They should have two awards. There should be a comeback player of the year for somebody coming off of an injury. And there should be another award that is given to a guy who overcomes the narrative, so to speak. Like the comeback from many people thinking that he wasn't going to be good anymore. That's why I think Sam Darnold should win this award this year. That's why Joe Flacco would have won that award last year. And then Damar Hamlin gets the legitimate comeback player of the year, right? Alex Smith, a handful of years ago, you give him the award for the coming back from the injury, and then you give the other award to whoever. That's how I see it. Like to me, that's Sam Darnold's award right there. We know Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's an MVP caliber player, not a comeback player of the year caliber player. The comeback, and he just said it. He just said it on the broadcast. He goes, "This is not necessarily an award you want to be nominated for." No one cares that Joe Burrow won comeback player of the year. No one's going to go on. If Joe Burrow makes it to the Hall of Fame, no one's going to go up there during his Hall of Fame speech and be like, "Remember that time Joe Burrow won comeback player of the year in 2024?" No one is going to give a damn about that. But if you look back on Sam Darnold's career, you'll be able to look back and say, "Oh, wow, do you remember when Sam Darnold had that unreal resurgence with the Vikings and led them to the doorstep of the 1 seed in 2024? That dumb. They should have 2 awards. Yeah, like Teddy's saying here, call it the most improved award, or name it after a guy, name it after somebody, name it after Alex Smith, name it after DeMar Hamlin. I don't know, or how about you do the comeback player of the year? You could leave it as the idea that we're talking about right now. The comeback player of the year could be for like the Darnolds of the world. And then you could name the award after DeMar Hamlin or something and give that award to somebody who comes back from injury. Or name it after like Alex Smith, somebody. I don't know, just anybody. Just there should be 2 different awards. Internet's doing it again, by the way. The thing's back up. Does it look like crap? Ridiculous. But anyway, back to the Super Bowl conversation. Long story short there, yeah. Like, I think we're going to have a very similar game to a season ago. And it's all going to come down to whether or not the Chiefs can replicate what they did last year against Christian McCaffrey. They do that, they win. Saquon Barkley runs all over them, Eagles win. There's part of me that I'm falling down that trap again. I'm falling into that trap again where I just feel like this could be the time around where the Chiefs do lose. The Eagles are just a juggernaut. They're just loaded on both sides of the ball. But once again, this is why I keep bringing up Saquon Barkley, and I keep bringing up last year's game. The Niners were a better team than Kansas City last year. On paper, the Niners, without question, better team personnel-wise. But they took away Christian McCaffrey. They got pressure on Purdy, and that was ultimately the biggest difference. Plus, they had a muffed punt go their way. You know, what else is new? But I think in this game, if Saquon can run the ball as well as he has, and the Eagles don't have a muffed punt or some ridiculous turnover, go back 2 years ago, Jalen Hurts fumbles the football. If they play clean football and Saquon runs well, this could very, very well be the time that the Chiefs get knocked off here outside of Brady. There he is. Roger. Raj. Koala's bringing up the Pro Bowl, by the way. Did you see the Pro Bowl? Did you see the ratings for the Pro Bowl? You want to talk about figuring something out. I know we were just talking about how the NFL needs to figure out a new award for differentiating comeback player from an injury and comeback from, improving from 1 year to the next. The Pro Bowl is beyond a joke. I tweeted out the other day, I think it's self-deprecating at this point. It's not even a joke. It's literally like, it is literally humiliating itself at this point. Like when you have Drake May be nominated as a Pro Bowler, like Drake May now, like back in the day when Dan Marino and Jim Kelly were duking it out for Pro Bowl votes in the AFC, that meant something. That helped propel them to have a Hall of Fame resume like they built. Now, Drake May, in a mediocre, halfway decent rookie year, I guess, is already a Pro Bowler. On what planet is Drake May a Pro Bowler? Well, this planet currently. The planet where the Pro Bowl is an absolute mockery, a joke. It no longer exists. It means nothing. The only shitty thing about it is the designation of being a Pro Bowler is still going to count the same on your resume as it would back, like I was just mentioning, in the 90s and so forth. The ratings for the Pro Bowl were abysmal. I'm trying to find the exact number here. 4.7 million viewers for the Pro Bowl. 4.6. Yeah, and like visual arts is bringing up here. Yeah, Russell Wilson was a Pro Bowler. Russell Wilson fell off the face of the planet starting on Thanksgiving. Nowhere to be found. Him and the whole Steelers team took a nosedive. Pro Bowler. Drake May, Pro Bowler. What? And there's a reason why it had 4.7 million viewers. And I know you might think, 4.7 million viewers, like, if Z-Bot got that in the smoke break, he's cashing in. Yeah. Well, if I'm doing that, sure. You know, the NFL, 4.7 million viewers, that's like, I mean, that's insulting. The AFC Championship between the Bills and the Chiefs that just set the record, that had nearly 58 million viewers. 58 million viewers. Now, I know you can't compare the Pro Bowl to a championship game, but you would not expect that significant of a drop-off. And if there was something worth watching, guess what? We're all football junkies. We would watch it. If that game meant something, anything, we would watch it. If it meant, now that there's 17 games, one conference plays 9 at home and 8 on the road, and then it kind of rotates. Maybe you play at the Pro Bowl game, the winner of the conference winner that following year, they get the majority of the home games. I don't know, something to play for. Because this whole dodgeball BS, go out there and play tiddlywinks is a joke. And if that's what you want to do, fine, but don't call it the Pro Bowl anymore. Oh, here comes the man of the year. Let's see if Deion Dawkins finally wins it. Guy's been up for it forever now, and he deserves it too. Met a lot of cool people in my day. Met a bunch of these players. No one is as awesome as Deion. And I got a feeling I'll go on to meet more and throughout my life and whatnot, and I feel like I'll still have that same answer. Look at him. He's got the rhinestone jacket on. Deion's an all-timer, man. One of my all-time faves, and it's for that reason. Not only is he unbelievable on the field, but all-time guy. Love to see him win it. They just brought him up on stage and didn't announce it? What was that? What was that? Did they say it? They just brought him up all on the stage and then went to a commercial. I'm unplugging this and plugging it back in again real quick. I can't take the internet logo thing. It's driving me off a wall. I don't know who this is. The Hemorrhoid Hut. Straight out of Foxborough, pal. Just stopping by to piss on Bills fans for old time's sake. You gotta love that. It's been a while. Hemorrhoid Hut, that you've had the chance to do it. So good to have you in. Didn't get enough of it for 20 years, huh? Yeah, anyway, I'd love to see Deion win it, man. I really would. Just an all-time guy. He's one of those guys that you feel the presence of when you walk into a room. Genuinely. Dude is awesome. I look forward to seeing what he does post NFL career too. There's like, you won't see the last of Deion when he hangs up the cleats, whenever that'll be. Hopefully a while from now. You'll see him continue to do cool things. He's just that type of guy. Every time I've interviewed him, been with him, very generous with his time, and above anything, the most honest player I've ever met. Just tells you how it is, good, bad, or indifferent. It's what I've loved the most about him. He hates the Jets and he lets you know. There's not enough of that in this league anymore. I love that. Love that. A couple super chats here. Damon's coming in. Did you hear Snoop's Bill Belichick joke? No, I didn't. I'm guessing it had to do with his girlfriend. Let me know in the comments what it was. I didn't hear it off the top. Matty DeVideo coming in. What up, Matt? Z-Bot, the one person I'm glad to see the NFL honors is Tom Grossi. Yeah, shout out Tom Grossi, one of YouTube's best, man, one of the OGs. I think Tom, didn't he win Fan of the Year last year? I think he won Fan of the Year last year, 2 years ago. Tom's the man, does a hell of a job. What I like about what he does, this is something I've always kind of wanted to do. Maybe we'll do it down the line, but he's a huge Packers fan, and he covers the Packers like Rico and I and Pierre and all of us cover the Bills. But he does the whole NFL too, which I love. I think he kicks off every show by saying like, you don't have to be, you don't have to be a Packers fan to enjoy it, but it sure does help or something like that. Guy does a great job. All right, now Snoop's taking a jab at AJ Brown. I take it. How do you think the author of that book, by the way? How do you think the author of that book, by the way, is got to be feeling as of late? The sales for that book that AJ Brown was reading have had to have gone up times 1,000 ever since that he was seen on the sideline reading it. Oh, there's J.A. reading Jim Kelly's autobiography. Look at Deion. You know what? I got to tell you, I'm so bummed that Deion did not either get offered or take. I got a feeling he had to have gotten offered. I don't know how Jerry Jones wouldn't have offered it to him. I would have just loved it so much if he had taken the Cowboys job. I just think, oh my God, it would have been unbelievable. The combination of the dysfunction of Dallas, the dysfunction of Jerry Jones, and then Deion Sanders, who is just the ultimate. You want to talk about tell it like it is, like I was just saying about Deion. I mean, ironically enough, they're both named Deion. Deion Sanders would have been great for the league. As the head coach of the Cowboys, the most publicized team in any sport in the country, it would have been must see. I'm pissed about it. Damon's saying that he just tagged me on Twitter in that Snoop vid. Damon, I'm going to check it out afterwards because if I play it right now, I'll get copyright hit. But I got a feeling I already know where he's going with it. I'm going to check it out afterwards, and I'll hit you up after the show. Looking forward to it. Yeah, that's low-hanging fruit, the Belichick girlfriend jokes. But you know what, man? I mean, my God, I saw a pic. My buddy sent me a picture earlier. There's Bill Belichick. What is he? Close to 70, standing there with his girlfriend that's younger than me, and you look down on his right hand, and he's got a fistful of rings on. You're just looking at it like, man, that dude won. He won. So we're doing the flag players of the year. Speaking of flag football, the NFL is really leaning into flag football, looking to get professional men's and women's leagues started here. Look at these kids. Good for them. Josie and Daniel. What's it got to be like a 13-year-old kid getting an NFL Honors Award? How do you even select that? How do you select the best flag football player at 13? What's the selection process like for that? Ooh, best celebration. Honestly, this is the first time I think I've ever sat and actually watched this full thing. Usually if the Bills aren't nominated for anything, I really don't give a rip. I mean, I care about the award winners, but you just get that on Twitter. I don't usually sit through the whole pomp and circumstance here, but pretty cool. Celebration of the year. What do we got? You know what's funny? I've been a lot of cool places in my life, all over Europe, all over the country here. I've never been to New Orleans. And every time I see stuff like this going down, or the Super Bowl this weekend, the college football playoffs a couple weeks ago, every time I see it, I'm like, man, I got to get out there. I don't know how I haven't been out there yet. It's like one of the only major cities I haven't been to. And every time I see it, I want to go. Let me know if you guys have been and how much you like it or don't like it or whatever. It just looks like it'd be impossible not to have a great time. Had a bunch of buddies go out there for the Super Bowl and enjoy it too. Dan went, Richie, TD, all my roundtable buddies went, and they had a ball. We were just catching up about it, and they were crushing it. Had a blast. I'm hoping to go with them next year. We'll see. Fingers crossed. And hopefully the Bills are in it. Then all bets are off, and I'm gonna have to do it. But I'm hoping to be able to go and maybe do that next year. And man, they look like they had a blast. What's Deion doing here? Deion's doing a dance? Look at Deion, man. Dude is like a 6'7", 350-pound toddler. All right. I don't know what that was, but I liked it. I don't know what's going on here. All right. Doing the tricky. Ooh, all right. That's pretty good. Look at Jameis. Has Terry Crews ever aged? The guy has looked the exact same my entire life. Guy's got genes of steel. I don't think that guy's aged a day, ever. All right, so Deion was definitely here early, getting choreograph under his belt for this, because he's got like 3 different. Look at this, and they're locked in. Deion's hitting that thing, man. Deion's hitting that. All right, okay. Look at Deion, man. Richie's saying, Bob, did you see the Super Bowl tickets drop in price? Yeah, I did. I mean, it's going back to what I was saying earlier, and I was asking you guys about where you're at in terms of your excitement level. Yeah, they're dipping. They're dipping, man. I think I saw that they're like $1,500 cheaper this year than the cheapest ticket last year. It's just because I just think it's one of those. It's just not a very exciting matchup. All right, here's D Rookie of the Year. What do we think? Verse? God, the Eagles are loaded with this young. Eagles and Rams, young defense, man. Going to be good for a while. I'm thinking Jared Verse here. That's my final answer. There it is. Well earned. Well earned. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Aaron Donald retires and they immediately find the heir apparent. Isn't that incredible? Bills have been trying to find a Jared Verse since Brandon Beane took over. Have taken multiple cracks at it. Haven't been able to find it. Aaron Donald, one of the greatest defensive players of all time, retires. And what happens? Rams immediately find the successor. Once again, I'll keep updating you. Those asking, it'll be like an hour from now when they'll announce the MVP. They're not going to announce it until like right before 11. And Jared Verse, that beard thing is killer, man. Mine won't grow like that. It just stops here. I mean, I guess like every time I try to let it grow out more than this, it gets really, really bad. I don't know how guys do it like him, where they keep it going out like that. Or like people will get it down like this. I don't know how you pull that off. Killer beard. It's always fun seeing these guys that you don't really ever see outside of the field, like in this environment. I didn't even know Verse had a beard like that. So who's up for fan of the year for the Bills this year? It's the Chefs, right? I think it's the Chefs. Oh, Megan Stefanski. The Detroit Lions. Congrats to Megan. Man, look at that award. Now that is so cool. Imagine winning that. Imagine winning that Fan of the Year award. Look at her. There she is. Look at that thing. That thing's no joke. All right, listen. And I went to school and majored in broadcasting, and you don't need a broadcasting major to know what I'm about to tell you. The shoot that they're setting up here, having the camera in the hallway of where the announcers and award recipients come in and out of, makes absolutely no sense. This is the second time they've put Jamie Erdahl in the hallway to give a live hit while the crew that was just out on the stage is walking back off the stage. We're on Fox here, folks. This is basic cable worldwide. This is basic stuff here. Put her somewhere else. Just saw Eli. My buddy sent me a tweet earlier. Speaking of Eli, get your guys' thoughts on this. My best buddy Josh, big Giants fan, he sent me this earlier. This was tweeted out by @Sean Moorish. He says, to put Eli Manning's career in context, we all agree Josh Allen is awesome and a worthy MVP candidate, right? Last week, with 3 minutes left versus the Chiefs and a chance to either force overtime or win the game, who would you have rather had under center, Allen or Eli? And he says, Eli, period. Really? Really? Come on. There's no way you can, in your heart of hearts, look yourself in the mirror and genuinely believe that. Did Eli have two of the greatest Super Bowl victories of all time? Maybe the two greatest, certainly the greatest underdog victory maybe ever in 2007? No doubt. In my opinion, is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? Yes. You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame for winning the two Super Bowls that he did. One of them was the most improbable Super Bowl victory ever. The other was right up there with it. The guy was unbelievable in both of them. He has a couple of the most iconic plays in NFL history. And yeah, he's a Manning. You combine all those things together, mix it with the fact that he played in the biggest sports market in the entire country. Yes, Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. The idea that you could say with a straight face that last week, who would you rather have, Eli or Allen? And you'd say Eli. You know, Josh Allen, David Tyree made maybe the greatest catch in the history of the sport. And guess what happened? The Bills game. Josh Allen threw one of the greatest passes. It would have gone down as one of the greatest passes in championship weekend history if Dalton Kincaid just caught it. And we wouldn't be having this debate whether or not Eli Manning would be better suited for the Bills in that situation last week than Josh Allen. Eli Manning threw up a prayer to David Tyree, and he made one of the most improbable, most iconic, most incredible catches we have ever seen. If David Tyree does not pin that ball against his helmet, one, I think that the Hall of Fame argument for Eli takes a significant hit, a massive hit. And 2, you wouldn't even be talking about this because they wouldn't have scored on that drive. Allen made that play on a 0 blitz with a guy in his face instantly off of his back foot, 45 yards down the field, put it on Dalton Kincaid's shoulder pads, and he dropped it. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Eli. It was an incredible play. But to say that Josh Allen didn't make the play in the championship game is wrong. He made the play. Was not caught. Oh, Jim Kelly. All right, we're building up a little MVP hype here at the top of the hour. 10 p.m. We'll probably find out about 55 minutes from now or so. Jim Kelly doing a little narration of Allen. You know, I love that, by the way. I just think that's so cool. That's what you get in Buffalo that you wouldn't get anywhere else. Like the Jim Kelly-Allen dynamic. It's the coolest thing, man. Look at him. Look at J.A. Look at Haley looking at him. So proud. Max Crosby, you'll be a Bill soon too, buddy. Don't worry. Don't worry. Max Crosby. Bring him home. By home, bring him to my home, an hour away from my home. Nikki Glazer, look at her, love her. Nikki Glazer. She is the best. Caroline and I saw her live. She's great. The roast to Tom Brady, unbelievable. I think she stole the show. And it wasn't just the Brady roast. She's done a bunch of roasts. And she's off the charts. Easily, probably my all-time favorite female comedian. Nikki Glazer. She's unreal hilarious. When we saw her live, she was good. But it seems like her niche is those roasts when she's got the material in front of her to work with people to rip on, because she's unbelievable with it. The stand-up material was okay, and she was still good. But the roasts are another level. She's been everywhere too. Didn't she just host? She hosted something recently. I don't know. What was it? The Golden Globes or something? I don't know. There's a million awards it shows this time of year. What are we doing right now? What showing Lamar? Oh, this isn't even an award. This is like, what is this? Moment of the year? What is this? Play of the year? You're playing my girl Dua Lipa in the background, by the way. I want to talk about somebody else I saw live that was incredible. I saw Dua Lipa at the Niagara Center where the Sabres play. Unbelievable. 10 out of 10. Concert was awesome. Huge Dua Lipa fan. Oh my God, this Jaden Daniels play, the Hail Mary against the Bears has to win this Play of the Year award. That turned their whole season around. Yep. Jaden Daniels, man, taking him home like Kendrick the other night. Yeah, no doubt. That was the Play of the Year. Go back to that play and then go and look at the trajectory that the Commanders went on after it and the Bears went on after it. Polar opposites. Bears had that game won, lost it on the Hail Mary, season went in the gutter. Commanders had that game lost, won it, they went to the NFC Championship. Literally redefined both those team seasons. The Bears never recovered, and the Commanders never looked back. Definitely the moment of the year. Oh, look who's in the chat. Raven for life. Good to see you again, brother. It's been a while. You got to stick around for the next hour, and we'll see what happens here. Look at LT. Man, you want to talk about a guy. LT in his prime? Holy shit. Dude, LT was great. One of my favorite players growing up. All right, so what are we doing? All right, 2025 Hall of Fame class. All right. I thought, didn't they already announce this? Or no? Oh, this is for next year. Oh, okay, cool. Jared Allen, beast. Look at T.O.'s pants. They're like, what are those? Gucci pajama pants? Wait, isn't Eli up for eligibility this year? Are they announcing all of the Hall of Fame class tonight? Were they only announcing 4? Wait, are they announcing all of them or just 4 of them? Wait, so there's only 4 Hall of Famers that got in this year? So wait. Wow, so does that mean Eli Manning's not a first ballot Hall of Famer? Wait. So there's only wow. So wow, does that mean Eli is not a first ballot Hall of Famer? Wait, how are they only announced? It says here that Adam Vinatieri was a finalist too. How the hell is Adam Vinatieri not a first ballot Hall of Famer? How is Adam Vinatieri not a first ballot Hall of Famer? I have so Schefter tweeted out earlier today, I guess, the finalists. And I just looked it up. So it's anywhere from like 4 to 9 guys every year. So this is on the low end. There's only 4. So Eli, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, I'm seeing in the comments, some people are shocked, some are not. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit shocked. I would have thought that the Manning name, there was never a question to me whether Eli would be in the Hall of Fame. It was more of a question as to whether or not he'd be a first ballot. And I had always thought that the Manning factor of that whole thing would get him over the edge and he'd be first ballot. So I'm not going to lie. I think I'm a little bit shocked that Eli didn't get in. Adam Vinatieri, though, not a first ballot Hall of Famer, is a little insane to me. And they only announced 4, huh? Okay, yeah, I just wanted to confirm. Um, I don't know. I'm a bit shocked that Adam Vinatieri isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's an argument that he might be the greatest kicker of all time. I was just taking a second there to confirm whether or not like he was on the list. He was. I don't know. You guys let me know. I'm a bit stunned by that. There is a solid argument Adam Vinatieri might be the greatest kicker of all time. The fact that they only let 4 guys in there, the fact that Eli isn't on there is a bit shocking to me. And Adam Vinatieri not being a first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't know. That is. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit shocking to me. I mean, would you not say? Would you not say that Adam Vinatieri is probably the best kicker of all time? Easily the most iconic kicker of all time. And he was an integral part of one of the greatest dynasties the sport's ever seen. I don't know. So here's just a list of Adam Vinatieri's accomplishments. Played for 24 seasons. He has the most points in NFL history. Most points in NFL history. He had a career field goal percentage of 84. He had a 97% extra point percentage. 56 of 69 in the playoffs. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 4-time Super Bowl champion, and he has the record for most consecutive field goals made at 44. I mean, I understand he's a kicker, but if there was ever going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame kicker, I feel like it would have been Vinatieri. Huh, I don't know. That seems like a snub to me. Oh, Josh Allen just won the FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Year. Well, how about that? Okay, we're getting somewhere. Jamar Chase, Josh Allen, FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year. So we put all that work in for. We put all that work in for BF. Goodell. That's cap. So I just looked it up, by the way. There has never been a first ballot Hall of Fame kicker elected to the Hall of Fame. So it's never happened before. But like I said earlier, I just feel like if there ever was going to be one to do it, I don't know. I think Adam Vinatieri would be many people's best kicker of all time. You got to give Goodell credit. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play it. Goodell knows how to play it. That's why they pay him the big bucks. They keep showing Allen. They keep doing the close-ups on Allen, folks. Has anyone ever ascended to the top at the fullback position more than Kyle Juszczyk? Got to be one of the only like household name fullbacks ever. What's happening right now? So wait, this is Man of the Year. They're going to give it to Kittle. Oh, salute to service award. I didn't even know some of these awards existed. What's the difference between the salute to service award and the? Oh, so this is strictly military based. Okay. All right, cool. I don't think I knew that there was a salute to service award. I love George Kittle though. George Kittle would have been an awesome Bill, wouldn't he have? He would have fit right in Buffalo. I love George Kittle. I loved him even more after I watched that receiver series on Netflix. Got the inside look on him. Cool dude, man. Cool dude, all timer, Hall of Famer. George Kittle's awesome. By the way, shout out to all you guys in here right now. We just cracked 4,000 of you in here hanging out. Really appreciate every single one of you. Everyone dialed in on BF on the NFL honors ceremony, waiting patiently to see if 17 brings home the hardware. So, when did Allen get the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award? What is going on in this ceremony? Did you guys catch that? I didn't even think I saw that. I just saw on Twitter that Allen won the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award. And then the Bills account put out a tweet making fun of the idea that he was rated the most. He was considered to be the biggest trash talker in the league. Now he wins the Sportsmanship Award. We just saw him get the FedEx Air and Ground Award. I didn't see the damn sportsmanship. When did they play the Sportsmanship Award? I've been sitting here the whole time. When I walked away for 2 seconds, is that when it happened? Richie's saying, "Bot, I got champagne to pop if Allen wins MVP." That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Richie. I know you had it bought for the Super Bowl and you don't want it to collect dust, so you might as well pop it tonight if we have an opportunity. I don't blame you. All right, we're gonna get to the point. So about I would say like 10 minutes from now, the leaks are gonna start coming out. So I'm gonna avoid Twitter, and I don't mean to neglect the chat, but I'm gonna start having to not look at the chat just because I want a real authentic reaction to the MVP announcement. And I know it's going to get leaked and I know it's going to wind up in the chat. So pre-warning, don't be mad at me, but I'm going to have to start avoiding the chat here and I'm going to avoid Twitter just because I hate leaks. Hate it. I want real authentic reactions on here. Wendell Pierce, you know him? Now they're really trying to extend this thing. They're really trying to elongate this broadcast. Why don't we bring out whoever's announcing the MVP and let's make it happen? Speaking of which, Speaking of leaks and stuff, they keep showing Josh Allen on the broadcast. Is Lamar there? They haven't showed Lamar. Have you guys seen Lamar on the broadcast once? I haven't seen Lamar on the broadcast once. Is he there? All right, so about pretty much exactly 3 days from right now to the minute, we will know who wins the Super Bowl. We will know who has won it, who's hosting the trophy. Right now on BetUS, here are the current odds. If you haven't seen yet, Chiefs 1-point favorite. Over under is 48.5. Here are some of the props, by the way, or here are some of the lines rather for the MVP. Mahomes right now favored to win MVP. So if you think the Chiefs are going to win, that's probably your best bet. Because in all likelihood, if the Chiefs win, it would be hard to imagine that they win and Mahomes doesn't get the MVP, and then you can get it at plus money at plus 115. But then it's Saquon Barkley. He's the favorite for the Eagles, kind of like the juice on Jalen Hurts plus 325, because I could see a situation where, maybe Barkley has a good game, but not a great game. Then Jalen Hurts kind of steps up. We got to remember the best game that Jalen Hurts has had in his entire career was against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So, definitely some likelihood there that Jalen Hurts could hoist it rather. And he's at plus 325. All of these lines and so much more. I mean, there is a trillion different things that you can get in on. They're all up right now on BetUS. The promo code is YouTube150, and that will get you a 150% sign-up bonus, up to $2,000 on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next two after that. I want to read the chat so bad right now, but we're at that point where I feel like I know the leaks are coming out, so I don't have the chat up. I can't look. I know for a fact that the next time I look, there's going to be a leak in there, and it's going to ruin it. It's killing me, though. I hate not looking at the chat. Oh, my dad just texted me, by the way, 7 minutes ago. Thank God I can't see it. My dad texted me, and he just said that it's been leaked officially. He said Tracy Wolfson leaked it. My dad just texted me. He said that the award's been leaked. Tracy Wolfson, ... He said Tracy Wolfson leaked it, ... See, I knew it. I picked the perfect time. I was dead on. I picked the perfect time to not look at anything. All I saw was a text from my dad saying Tracy Wolfson leaked it, ... But it doesn't say who won. So it looks like the leak is out. I'm imagining that you guys in the chat right now are aware of who has won the MVP. And I can't look at the chat right now. It's killing me. And we got guys playing trombones and stuff right now. And now I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. Because I just think this is a pivotal moment for the Buffalo Bills right now. To have an MVP for Josh Allen, should nothing go their way again. The idea of him having an MVP here, to me, it would just mean a lot as a fan. I think it would mean a lot to this organization. And above anything, it would mean a lot to a guy who I think has earned it, has been good enough to be in this position, not only throughout his career, but in particular this year. In a year where many people thought the Bills would go like this, they went like this. And he went from being considered a guy that had a turnover problem, considered to be a guy that, as great as he was somewhat of a detriment to the team at times because of the turnover problem. Not only has he eliminated that, but this past season, he put together what was probably the cleanest season of quarterback play we've ever seen, while continuing to still put up the numbers that we've seen him put up routinely each and every year. Another 40-plus touchdown season, but this time around, completely eliminating the turnovers. The stat that blows my mind, you would just think that if Josh Allen were to eliminate the turnovers, that he would have to somehow eliminate the production level too, because how are you going to get that high of a level of production while not turning the ball over? I had always said that the reason why Allen is so great is also the reason why he turns the ball over so much. Because in order to get those amazing plays, sometimes those amazing plays go south. You can't make an amazing play without taking a risk. Sometimes you don't win on those bets. So last year, the idea that Josh Allen had 29 touchdowns and 18 interceptions, you would think this year that if you told me he had 6 interceptions, the idea of him putting up similar numbers in the touchdown category, I would have guessed it would have gone down. 29 touchdowns, 18 picks last year. This year, 28 touchdowns, 6 picks. It's unbelievable. This was one of the cleanest and most efficient year of NFL quarterback play from a quarterback that we've ever seen. This was literally, it's arguable that this was the most efficient and clean year a quarterback has ever had while simultaneously having dominant production, MVP level production. Guy deserves it. And I know it's not a Super Bowl trophy. It's not close, but it's a nice consolation prize knowing that the Bills are out of it now. I can't lie. It really would be. Because as sad as it is to say, this would be the only trophy that anybody that I've ever rooted for in my life has ever won. Wow, this was a really, really intense anti-nicotine ad. That seemed very unnecessary. That ad basically said that if you're on nicotine, let me tell you what, buddy, you are going to be very angry. That was odd. That was quite an odd ad right there. I don't know what that was. I always wondered who pays for the anti-nicotine ads. Like I feel like you don't put money into something unless you're making money back. Like who's funding the anti-nicotine ads? Somebody's got to be making money on that, but how? How do you make money on it? And if you're not making money on it, then where's the money coming from to pay for it? I never understood that. I've always found it ironic too. It's like there's always all these. Like growing up, there was always these anti-drug ads. Like the comic books had them. They were on television all the time. Remember that ad where like the girl was inflated on the couch because she smoked pot? Like she was flattened on the couch. Then like the next commercial would be like it would be a commercial for some drug. Never made any sense to me. Like, oh, here's an ad about not doing drugs. Then here's an ad about why you should talk to your doctor about this drug. Okay, here comes Deion and Billy B. Look at Bill. Bill looking good. He's feeling good. Look at Deion. Deion's looking like a mob boss with that suit coat on. Look at that thing. Looks like the suit coats they'd wear back in like those 60s mob movies. Like, well, you got a top hat and a Tommy gun. I'm so bummed Deion didn't get that Cowboys job. It would have just been electric. There would have been a story every week. Him and Jerry Jones, the Cowboys, the whole thing. It was a match made in heaven. Jerry should have given him a blank check. If not for anything else, even if it didn't work out on the field, if not for anything else, it would have been eyeball city. It would have risen to a whole other level of popularity, and that's hard to say for the Dallas Cowboys. That's why I don't get why they didn't do it. All right, here comes Coach of the Year. Okay. I think it's Kevin O'Connell's for sure. I think it's definitely Kevin O'Connell. Tell you what, though, Dan Quinn definitely deserves a nod. You know who deserves a nod is Sean McDermott. Another odd thing about the Coach of the Year award, once you've been in the league for a while and had success, you just can't win it. Like, why isn't Andy Reid nominated? Why isn't Andy Reid nominated? They lost one legitimate game this year. They've lost one legitimate game since Christmas Day 2023. Why the hell is Andy Reid? Oh, he is. Okay. All right. Just completely argued against myself as Andy Reid pops up on the screen as a Coach of the Year nominee. Well, he won't win it. I guess that's more the point I'm making here. You can't. You just. It's impossible to win it when you've already been coaching at a high level. If McDermott should have been nominated. Yep, Kevin O'Connell, well deserved. Unreal year. Unreal year for the Vikings. I like O'Connell a lot. Took Sam Darnold to the doorstep of the number 1 seed in the NFC. They lost, what, 3 games all year? Unreal job. I mean, J.J. McCarthy tears his leg up in the offseason. What are they going to do? Here comes Sam Darnold. 0 expectations. I think the over-under win total for them this year going into it was like 6.5. They won, 14 games, 15 games. Unbelievable year. But Andy Reid nominated, which I like. I'm glad to see it. Obviously, they just would never give it to him. But why wasn't Sean McDermott nominated? Sean McDermott should have been nominated. A nomination at that stage of your career is just as good as winning it. Like Andy Reid being nominated, that's a nod. Because it's impossible to win it. You're only going to win it in your first 3 years, or if you leave and then come back, like Sean Payton. Like Sean Payton was nominated. The only way you're going to be nominated, if Sean Payton was still coaching with the Saints, he wouldn't have been nominated. So you're either only going to win it in like your first 1 to 3 seasons tops, probably your first 2 more likely. And then outside of that, if you coach at a high level for a while, no matter what you do, you're just not winning it. And maybe if you went undefeated, but even then, I don't know. I mean, that might be the only way you could do it. The Chiefs pretty much went undefeated, and Andy Reid was never going to win it. All right, I'm getting antsy here. 10:32. Probably going to find out here in like 20 minutes. And I can see the number of chats coming in. I haven't looked at the chat in like 10 minutes, but I can see the chats piling up. Ever since I stopped looking at it, we're at nearly 300 comments since I've stopped looking at it. So I know you guys are chatting about it in there. I know you guys are chit-chatting about it heavily. I haven't looked at anything. This is very odd. Like when you're sitting in front of a computer and you're on the internet, but you're not looking at anything from the internet. Not looking at any texts, any tweets, any comments. Like I'm in like internet purgatory right now. Here it comes again. Jamie Erdahl just standing in the hallway. And what do you know? What do you know, guys? They took my advice. They figured it out. Did you see that? Did you see that? They walked down the other hallway. They sent him down the other hallway. Who would have known that one of the producers had the smoke break on in the background while they were running the show? He heard my advice and took it. Well done. All right, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. Nearly 5,000 of you in here. Oh, I know all you guys know it. I can just tell. The numbers are rising. The comments are off the charts. I know you guys know. I'll be right back. Oh my God, we're up another 100 comments since I walked away. I went and got some Patron to do a celebratory shot should the moment call for it. Richie, you inspired me, by the way, saying you had the champagne ready. Wait, are they doing the MVP right now? Yeah, they're showing a compilation. There's Allen. Wait, are they doing it right now? Yeah, there's Goff. Goff, Burrow, Saquon. Oh, they're doing it right now. Oh, they got Deion up there. Oh my God, they're doing it right now. Okay, lock in. Lock in. Lock in. Deion hyping J.A. up right now. J.A. looks a little nervous. Hey, let's go, Deion. No, Shady. Come on, pipe down. You know you wanted to go to Allen. Come on. Oh, we're getting to the moment now. Comments are piling in. We're at over 5,000 of you in here. We're getting down to the moment of truth. And so we got Deion hyping up J.A., Shady hyping up Saquon, Kurt Warner hyping up Burrow. Why is Kurt Warner hyping up Burrow? They should have brought in Buffalo Bills legend Andy Dalton to do it. Aiden Hutchinson. Why is Kurt Warner the only one not representing the team? That's odd. Getting nervous. I don't know why. I just want the guy to win it, man. Can't help it. Look at Ray Lewis. He looks like he could still play. Doesn't Ray Lewis still look like he could just light you up? God, that guy, this is one guy that scares you when you look at him. What a beast. And they're hyping it up. Here we go. Kurt Warner. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. First time since 1987 that the first team All-Pro quarterback not named, or the first team All-Pro quarterback, first time since 1987 that the first team All-Pro quarterback does not win the MVP, and the second team All-Pro quarterback does. JA17. Here he goes. What's he got to say? Humble in victory, humble in defeat. 17. Let's go. You figured Bean and McDermott would have been there. How proud are Mr. and Mrs. Allen right now? Let's go, J.A. Look at him, dog. Let's go. Good for 17, man. Finally. Much deserved. Let's go. Let's freaking go, baby. 17 securing the MVP, losing the first team All-Pro vote 30-18 and defies all odds. Hasn't been done since 1987. And here's Josh Allen finding a way to pull it off. Couldn't win the Super Bowl last year, but I got to tell you, man, if he couldn't win a ring this year, I'm happy he got the individual award. He deserved it. He earned it this year more than ever, and he got it. And he got it in an improbable way. Not only has that not happened since 1987, but it was all but inevitable that once Josh Allen was not named to the first team All-Pro, that he wasn't going to get it. It was all but inevitable. And there it is. I don't know. I would love to hear the logic behind him not being first team All-Pro, Lamar being it, how the same voters. How does that work? How does that work? I don't know. Let's take a shot, though. Celebratory shot. 17. Cheers to you. Cheers to Josh Allen. The Buffalo Bills officially have an MVP at quarterback. The little kid in me is stoked to hear that. The adult in me is stoked to hear that. Down like water, baby. Let's go. How you guys feeling in the chat? I can finally go and look. Let me know in the chat how early you found out before because of the leaks. Let me know. I know for a fact it was out. How about Josh Allen, man? Such a humble guy, too. The way he goes up and accepts it, you just love it. He looked like, he looked like, he just looked appreciative of it. It's a guy, I mean, think about what this guy's gone through. No college offers, right? No college offers. Has to go to Wyoming. Then he gets drafted. Articles come out. Josh Allen would have to defy math itself in order to succeed. Everyone thinks that the ability for him to boom is far, far less than the ability for him to bust. So many people, even after he came out and showed promise year in and year out, so many people still doubted him. And he kept going and going and going. He has been the best player I have ever had to root for on any team I'm affiliated with in terms of my rooting interest. Josh Allen, far and away, not only is he the best player, I think he's the best representation of the organization that we've ever seen. He embodies everything Buffalo. It's a guy that deserves it wholeheartedly this year more than ever. It's amazing. It's incredible. I'm so damn happy for the guy. And I'm happy for the Bills, man. The Bills did it. The Bills did it, man. All my life, the Lossmans of the world, the Edwards of the world, the EJ Manuels of the world, just this, that, the third. The Buffalo Bills in my lifetime had an MVP at quarterback. And when the guy inevitably walks across the stage with his bronze bust looking at him in the face, putting on the gold jacket, he'll have that on the resume to back it up. Koala's coming in. Lamar fell to his knees in Cancun. Interesting, Lamar didn't go. Lamar wasn't there. Didn't see a shot of Lamar all night, so I guess he obviously knew. That should have been the biggest tell. Richie's coming in, tearing up TBH. On to 60. Next up, please. No doubt about it, Richie. We've been over it. Nothing would be better than to put the bow on the Ralph by winning an AFC championship in Buffalo, the final game inside the Ralph, and then going on to 60. Wouldn't that be something? But for right now, this is special. This is awesome. This is great. You know, it just feels like as a Bills fan, even with these personal awards, doesn't it always just feel, think about how often everyone's snubbed. The Bills had one All-Pro The Bills this year had one of the best offenses in franchise history. In a year where they were projected to be down, they went up. They won, what was it, 13 games, and they had one All-Pro. They had one All-Pro. And we constantly think as fans that the Bills are often overlooked because of the small market. The Bills are often overlooked because Josh Allen seems to be the crown jewel and everybody below him doesn't seem to stand out as much because of that. You saw that in the All-Pro voting. Seemed like all these other teams that were up towards the top of the league where the Bills are, laundry list of them. And it just feels like as a fan base, we constantly feel like the Bills are snubbed on things like this. Even last year when Damar Hamlin felt like the biggest shoo-in in the world to win comeback player of the year, they didn't even give that to him. So yeah, it does mean something because it just often feels like nothing ever goes our way. And I understand it's an individual award, but you can't help but be happy for that guy, man. You just can't help but be happy for him. Man. Go to the chat. Speed Racer coming in. Finally, he gets some recognition. The real Josh Allen is the best. What do we got? Retro definition of what valuable means. And that's the key. Oftentimes, the word valuable in an acronym that only contains 3 letters, it seems that the most important letter in that acronym is often overlooked. No one ever seems to hone in on the idea that valuable is the most important aspect of the award. And Josh Allen is one of the most valuable players to their organization in all of professional sports. The Bills, look at the 2018 draft. Baker Mayfield, the Browns, they're still going like this. In fact, they might have just reached an all-time low with Myles Garrett requesting a trade on Monday. They've been like this. The Jets take Sam Darnold. They've been like this. The Arizona Cardinals take Josh Rosen. They've been like this, right? The Bills could have been in that same boat. The Bills could have very easily have been in that same boat. Why? Well, because those other teams were in that same draft class. And why? Well, because year in and year out, before that, every single time they were in that boat. It was this, or it was just this, right? It was never this. And Allen is this. Man, I can't believe he won it. You know, part of me all day, just based on what was coming out on social media, I was kind of ready for it. But I'm still just stunned the way it went down. I wonder if we'll hear anything. Is the amount of votes out? Like how close was it? Let me take a peek here. Let me kind of, and if you guys could do the same, that would be great. Let me know in the comments if you find anything interesting about how this all went down. I don't know if the amount of votes are out yet in terms of how close it was. Let's go, man. MVP. Just these moments like this you can't take for granted. Think about everything you went through for 20 years or longer as a fan. For me, 27 years old, everything you go through as a fan, knowing that the most important position in the sport had been unable to be obtained by the Buffalo Bills in a satisfactory manner since Jim Kelly hung up the cleats. And now you got the guy who's on commercials. You got the guy who's on the cover of Madden. You got the guy who's leading you to AFC championships, hopefully further as his career moves on. And now you got an MVP. That's why it matters. It might not matter to some of these other teams, these other organizations. It matters in Buffalo. Just flicking through Twitter right now, getting the reaction, man. Let's go. I'm stoked. I can't wait to get on here with Rico tomorrow to get into it more. Hopefully we find out more about how it all went down, what the voting looked like. I'm shocked Lamar wasn't even there. Like, how close was it? Okay. Adam Schefter just tweeted it out 10 minutes ago. Josh Allen received 27 first place MVP votes. Lamar Jackson, 23. So it was quite close. A 4-vote margin was the difference that knocked it in Josh Allen's favor. Now, if we look back, so that's a total of 50 votes. And if we look back, there were 48 All-Pro votes, I believe. And Josh Allen lost first team All-Pro 30-18. And he won MVP by 4. So that would mean that what? At least 10 different voters voted Lamar as first team All-Pro and Josh Allen as MVP. Finally, maybe that finally means that the word valuable is actually back. Maybe that finally means that the term valuable in the acronym MVP finally means what it means. Because we know Lamar is valuable. But this year, Josh Allen was more valuable to the Bills than Lamar was to the Ravens. Derrick Henry ran for nearly 2,000 yards this past year. James Cook didn't crack 1,000 yards until the final throwaway game against the Patriots, and they did not have a 1,000-yard receiver. Yet Josh Allen had the cleanest year in NFL history in terms of the turnovers when nobody thought he'd ever be able to eliminate that part of his game. Once again, another 40-plus touchdown season, leads the team to the AFC Championship, leads the team to 13 wins in a year where people were projecting them to have about 9 and 10, wins the AFC East when people had the Dolphins and the Jets winning it over them. Not only do they win the East, they win it before December even rolls around. That is valuable. Josh Allen is the definition of valuable, and he has been for quite some time, and this is why he deserves it. This award, to me, does not necessarily represent just this past season, but it's a culmination of seasons that have led to him winning this award. He has earned it throughout time. It wasn't just this year. It was multiple years stacked together, not just because of the numbers, but because of the value. And I think finally the voters figured out this year the value that Josh Allen held. When Stephon Diggs leaves, and now you're hearing that Houston has no plans to re-sign Stephon Diggs next year, by the way. Gabe Davis leaves. The center that you've been taking snaps from your entire career, he leaves. The best safety tandem in the league for several seasons, they leave. And you improve. You do not do that unless you have the most valuable player at the most valuable position. That is why Josh Allen is the MVP. I see the Ravens fans are bored tonight, man. Ravens fans are in here. And look, I don't know why you guys have so much animosity. I don't get it. Lamar's got 2 of them. He's got 2 of them. But the amount of shit that was talked online about this, the certainty over it, man, oh man. Rough in Baltimore, man. You lose the divisional game. You had the MVP on lock, and now you lose that. I just don't know why you can't. I don't know why. Why wouldn't you just be happy that we're watching greatness unfold here? And I would understand if you hated it if he had already won 6 of them or if he had multiple Super Bowls or whatever. But Lamar's got multiple. Mahomes has the biggest trophy case in the entire. He could potentially have the biggest trophy case in the history of the sport. You're blind if you don't think that Josh Allen has had a career up until this point that deserves at least one award of this magnitude on his mantle when it's all said and done. Twitter is popping off right now. See, this is why it matters. People say they don't care about the MVP. This is what I've been saying all along. Yes, you do. It always gets conflated with the Super Bowl. That's the problem. Everybody always says, oh, I don't care about an MVP. I care about a Super Bowl. They're not comparable. They're not comparable. That's like saying, oh, I don't care about the steak. I like ice cream. One's dinner and one's dessert. What the hell are you comparing the two to? What are you comparing the two to? Makes no sense. You don't compare a steak dinner to a hot fudge sundae. It's just not how it works. Hot fudge sundae could be your favorite dessert. Steak could be your favorite dinner. You don't compare the two in terms of, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So the argument that it's not a Super Bowl. No, it's not. But when you've had the guy be as great as he's been and he's had nothing to show for it all the way up until now, this is why it matters. And you're kidding yourself if you think you don't care about it as a Bills fan. I'm sorry. I think you are. And they ended it. I just never understood that. This whole idea of, I'd much rather have a Super Bowl. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I made the analogy before. It's like having a bike and having a car. You'd much rather have a car than a bike. But if you have no transportation whatsoever at your disposal, wouldn't you at least want to have the bike at your disposal if you can't have the car? Yes, you'd rather have the car in the garage. But when you have no way to get to the grocery store, you have no way to get to work, would you rather have the bike? Or would you rather just walk? I'd rather have the bike. Yeah, would I love to have the car in the garage? You're damn right I would. Damn right I would. So would everybody else. No one's ever taken a bike over a car, but everybody's taken a bike over a walk. No question about it. And that's just kind of how I look at it. It's not everything, but it's something. Just scrolling through Twitter here. Bills just tweeted out the send-off Josh Allen said at the end of the speech. Be good, do good, God bless, go Bills. Put it on a T-shirt right now. Put that on a T-shirt tonight. Be good, do good, God bless, and go Bills. I mean, what more do you need? Right there. And that's what Allen's going to say next year when he's hoisting the Super Bowl trophy and the MVP of Super Bowl 60. He's going to say the same thing. Going to live in infamy. It's going to be iconic. Let's go. People are so pissed. It's just a mix of people who are just so stoked for Allen and then people who are just pissed for no reason. I don't get it. If somebody has a deserving year, then how are you pissed about it? Ravens fans are so salty because people were upset at the idea that the MVP that Lamar won last year was just a mediocre MVP. It was no slight at Lamar. It was more a slight at the idea that there was no runaway MVP, and it just felt like somebody had to win it, so Lamar got it. And then everybody kind of looks at that and says, like, oh, everybody hates Lamar. It's not true. It's just not true. Like when Josh Allen lost the MVP a handful of years ago to Aaron Rodgers, Allen had an incredible year, 2021, incredible year. But Aaron Rodgers had an all-time year, and Aaron Rodgers is one of the best to ever do it. So even me as a Bills fan, I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, obviously you'd love Allen to win it. Part of you feels like you might have gotten snubbed, but when you look at what Rodgers did, and you're like, I get it. I don't know how you can't look at what Allen did with that team and say that you don't get it. I just don't understand it. Damon's coming in. Oh, he already had the numbers before I saw him from Shefty. J.A., like we talked about earlier, 27 first place votes for the MVP. Lamar 23. It was razor thin. Dan Echo. Tears of joy today, bot. God bless Bills fans worldwide. You said it, Dan. As I like to say, echoing Dan's statement. God bless Bills fans worldwide. Tears of joy. No doubt, man. It's a happy moment. And you just don't get it. If you're not a Bills fan, then you don't get it. I mean, Ravens fans were winning Super Bowls with Joe Flacco. As sad as it is to say, yeah, this is the pinnacle for a guy like me at 27 years old, who being a fan of this team has resulted in a whole lot of nothing. It just has. Do I wish I could have watched the Bills in the mid 2000s, late 2000s win Super Bowls? I mean, of course. All these teams have had their successes, right? We've got nothing. I know it's a sad realization to come to. Not that you haven't come to it already. You've had plenty of time to come to it. But yeah, there's no shame in saying that it matters more to us than others because there just isn't a whole lot to show for the fandom in terms of the hardware, in terms of the, you can go back, you can never take it away. You can go back and say 2024, Josh Allen's the MVP. And it's unfortunate when you don't have a whole lot else. Like you want something. And I just think that this is the perfect representation of how far this organization has come. If you can have one thing to kind of show for it, not that we haven't had other things. I mean, 5 straight AFC East championships while the Patriots owned it for 20 years. I never want to lose significance of that because that's certainly something. There was 20 years of my life where I thought the Bills would never sniff an AFC East title, much less a playoff berth. My entire life, the Bills didn't even sniff the playoffs. The idea of an AFC East championship was as far gone as the idea of a Super Bowl. And it's amazing how far we've come to where that's become commonplace. And I know this might seem insignificant to many. I know it might seem little to some, right? And I know it's not the pinnacle of the sport, but it's the perfect representation of how far, at least in my lifetime, this organization has come. Added the video coming in. I just listened to Josh Allen's speech, and he is such a great human being. And what he said about Haley and his parents is making me tear up. And that's the thing that I always preach about him more than anything else. Beyond the play on the field, beyond being one of the most electric, prolific, and entertaining quarterbacks we've ever seen, the perfect embodiment of the city of Buffalo and this organization. You could not handcraft a better leader, a better face of a franchise than 17. And when you pair that with being one of the best quarterbacks in the entire league, it doesn't get much better. And it all comes back to the term valuable once again. You can only be so valuable with your play on the field. Your actions off of it factor heavily into how valuable you are to your team. Heavily. And that's just one more reason why he is the most valuable player. Every element of him, from the podium to the field, valuable to the nth degree. Everyone's stoked. Marshall's stoked. Everyone is stoked. I don't know. There's a weird sense of relief where it just feels like you can look back and you can point to this. For the longest time, it just felt like it might result in Allen having this unreal season that you would never be able to look back to and point at anything specific, because that's how the world works. I could tell you I could list off all these stats, like the one I listed off earlier. He has the most touchdowns through 8 seasons in NFL history, and he's only played 7. There's a litany of other stats that Allen's done throughout his career already. But when you don't have the hardware, people don't give a shit. And I had always felt like that he just needed at least one thing that you could go back and look to, point to, and say, well, yeah, this is why. This is what he was. And this is why he earned that award. And now you got this on the shelf. Now it's time to get the big silver football on the shelf. I got right random. Now I had Fox on. Now it's just the news barking at me. I can't believe he won it. Like just yesterday. Like did anybody even like think it was a possibility? I didn't even really have any desire to watch the award ceremony. I didn't think there was a single possibility after Lamar had won after Lamar was elected to the first team all-pro team, or after Lamar was elected first team. What reason would we have had to think that this was possible? Like I had mentioned throughout the show here, 1987, Elway, Montana. It's the last time that a QB would go on to win the MVP and not be the first team all-pro quarterback. So you pretty much have 40 years as a sample size as to why this should not have happened. It's stunning. This is one of the more historic MVP wins really of all time because of that aspect. Think about it. Talking about nearly 40 years here of a trend that was just broken by Josh Allen. Why? I have no idea. I really have no idea why, if you're an AP voter, you would lean one way or not the other. And I understand maybe a few people doing it. The logic being, all right, I think Lamar was maybe he had the better season, but Allen was the more valuable player. So I could see that logic. Therefore, giving Lamar the first team nod, giving Allen the MVP. But the idea that he lost the first team vote by more than 10 votes, yet won the MVP, that's the staggering thing. I would have thought there would be a significant chance to win it had Allen lost the first team voting by like a couple of votes, 3-4 votes. Then you could have sat here and been like, all right, it was really close. There's still a chance Allen winds up taking it. The idea he kind of got boat raced on the first team to go on and win it here. It's the fact that there was over 10 voters who had the logic of, I think Lamar might have had the more successful season in terms of the numbers, but I think Allen was the more valuable player. I would understand a couple of people having that mindset. I'm shocked that many people had it. It's pretty damn staggering, honestly. JD Stoll coming in, sending in a super chat. Appreciate you, JD. JD's piped, or he's pumped up. And then Lamar the no-show. You got to think though, would Allen have been a no-show if he didn't win it? So do they tell him ahead of time he's going to win it? There's so many questions I have. You got to imagine Lamar, he was well aware he wasn't going to win it. Why would Lamar not have gone if he knew he was going to win it? Or knew he had a chance to win it? If Lamar knew he had a chance to win it, why would he not have gone? How about the most logic Ravens fan of all time, by the way? This is probably the first I've seen of this. First I've seen. IDK says, Allen deserves this award coming from a Ravens fan. Screenshot this right here. Screenshot it. So you can always go back to this and remember it. Appreciate you, IDK. You got to be the first Ravens fan throughout this whole MVP debate the last couple of months that I've seen say that. The first one. Yeah, like Jay Song is saying. I know, this is kind of why, like, the reaction was a little bit, like, it wasn't like I was still excited and I was still a little bit shocked, but there was a weird feeling I had, like, throughout the day based on what people were saying, based on the idea that Allen was there. And then, like you're saying, Jay Song, Lamar didn't show up and Josh was sitting front center. It was obvious. Like, yeah, it did start to become obvious. But the question is, like, why? How did that come about? I'm kind of shocked Lamar wasn't there. I mean, quite obviously, he had to have known prior that he wasn't going to win it. Well, Lamar did say to him, though, after they beat him in the divisional, go get you something. Well, he got something. Now, the only thing that can make this week a little bit better is if Philly finds a way to win on Sunday. Philly find a way. Not that God, I don't really care. I do and I don't. If it was anybody other than Philly, it's just I don't dislike Philly. It's just, I'm obviously rooting for Philly, but it's not like I'm like pounding the table on it. If it was the Commanders, I'd be going nuts. Jay Song saying, I'm shocked too, but I love that Josh won it. But if I'm honest, Saquon was the most dynamic player. And this was the beauty. This was the beauty about this year's race. Last year, it was a whole lot of, I don't know, whatever. Somebody's going to win it. Who cares? Right? But this year, you had significant arguments for multiple guys. You had Lamar. You had Allen. Joe Burrow, I think, should have had a significant argument. Jared Goff had an argument. I think Derrick Henry had an argument. Right? you had a laundry list of guys. And I think this was one of the better MVP races in a long time here. JD's coming in with a super chat. Congrats, Josh. Well-deserved. Now, Bean, get him a vertical threat to utilize his talent. Yes, Bean, get a vertical talent. We know we've learned throughout this past season we don't need to go crazy at wide receiver, but we definitely need to improve. But go out and get Myles Garrett. And then next year, we can have the Depoy and we can have a back-to-back MVP and a Super Bowl ring. How about that? Go get Myles Garrett. Go bring in the Defensive Player of the Year, right? Go bring in the Defensive Player of the Year, pair that with another MVP with Allen and a ring. Next year, I want Allen not in attendance at this thing, not because he's not up for the award, because he can't make it. He's getting ready for the game. Timu MVP. This is what I don't get, though. I don't get it. It's like it wasn't a Mickey Mouse MVP. It just wasn't. I don't get how you can think that way. And it wasn't like even if you're not just basing it on the numbers, how many moments this year did Josh Allen have? Iconic moments throughout the season. The game-winning rushing touchdown against the Chiefs. The numerous plays that he had in that Niners game, right? There were just play after play all year long where it just felt like, man, Allen's on fire. That stretch between November and December there, Allen was just cooking. Even in the loss to the Rams, dude's just going nuclear out there. Follows it up by doing the same thing against the Lions. It was just, right, exactly, like Day Trooper saying. It felt like there was a period of time for like a month or so. Just game after game after game. Moment after moment after moment. Oh, man. All right. Hey, I'm going to save some because me and Rico are going to go live tomorrow night, and we're going to talk a hell of a lot more about this. So I'm going to save some more of my thoughts. I'm going to collect some more thoughts, dig into this a bit deeper, and save a little bit more in terms of talking points on it. Because we can talk all night about it, but I want to get into it with Rico tomorrow. So we're going to save some for tomorrow night, and I hope you join us tomorrow. Rico and I will hop on. We'll talk all about it. We'll get his thoughts on it, see what his takeaway was, how shocked he was. We'll dive into it far more tomorrow night, talking about Josh Allen winning the damn MVP. When it felt like it was out of the question, it wound up coming to fruition. I still can't believe it. On your way out the door, make sure to go check out the lines, by the way, on BetUS. Chiefs, 1-point favorite in the Super Bowl on Sunday over the Eagles. The over-under is 48.5. Get in on the action while you still can on BetUS using the promo code YouTube150. Get you 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit. 125% bonus on your next two after that. Like button if you could, and subscribe button if you could on your way out the door as well. And then tomorrow night, Rico and I will have much more to talk about in terms of Josh Allen just locking down this MVP. We'll also talk about the Super Bowl. We'll do a bit of a season recap. We'll have a ton coming your way tomorrow, so make sure to tune in then. But for tonight, we had nearly 6,000 of you in here at once, concurrently hanging out, watching JA17 take the MVP from New Orleans back to the 716. You absolutely have to. You just got to love it. So I appreciate every single one of you. Like I said, 6,000 of you in here hanging. Awesome stuff. I'm stoked. You're stoked. We'll be even more stoked tomorrow night, talking more about it. Rico and I, make sure to join us tomorrow evening. All right, that's going to do it. Much love for you guys. Once again, thanks so much for tuning in. Like button if you could, subscribe button, and head over to BetUS. Get in on those Super Bowl lines while they're still up. All right, enjoy your night. Enjoy hopping on Twitter before you go to bed and reading all that Bills Mafia has to say about JA17 securing that MVP. We'll talk tomorrow night. See you then. Go Bills.